Check, 1, 2, check, check, check. 1, 2. Whoop, whoop. Alright, what up everybody? Thanks for tuning back into the show. Sorry about the audio problems before. Alright, what up everybody? Thanks for tuning back into the show. Sorry about the audio problems. I think we got everything straightened out as best we can. Coming at you with the Fearless Fred Fury album review. Like I was trying to say earlier, I pre-ordered this and just got it Monday earlier this week. I'm doing the review finally today, so let's jump right into the whole thing. Let's check out the chat. Whoop whoop. Check check 1212. What up though? It works. What up, Mary Jane? Whoop whoop. All right, so here we go. It's motherfucking Fearless Fred Fury on deck. All right, and on the back, let's check out the track list. There we go. All right, obviously, you guys have seen it by now. Introduction: Red Fred Fury, West Verner Ave. What the fuck? Satellite. Seriously hilarious. Game over. Night of Red Rum. Low. Triplex. Nobody's Fault. Hothead. Shimmer. Freedom. Beware. And I Like It Rough. So, let's open it up. Alright, so got this in a sleeve here. And so you got Fearless Fred Fury's face right there, saying Clown Posse Fearless Fred Fury on the back. You got the fist, Fight Back 665. Open it up. I got the Flip the Rat. It did not come shrink wrapped with Flip the Rat. But I got the code to get it. The thing snapped in half, but that's pretty common of jewel cases, I guess. Like a lot of my fucking discs break like this. It just instantaneously broke, but what do I give a shit? Alright, we got the booklet here, and we got the introduction lyrics, and the lyrics to all the songs are in here. Images of Jay and Shags. More lyrics. Jay and Shaggy imagery throughout the lyrics. Here's this image. Lyrics. the Strums and Drums acoustic sessions advertisement and the vinyl figures available May 17th, 2019 at psychopathicmerch.com. The ICP Waxworks. A best of collection promo. This image. The Joker's cards, and 2 left in this deck, and then that's it. And then my pet rabbit's already chewed the cardboard case here, so of course. Then you got the disc itself. And that comes off, and then behind that is it says "Fight Back 665" in the red background. All right, so let's get into the review of the fucking songs and the album. Introduction. All right, first of all, so the CD. It came out like at the stroke of midnight. I went onto iTunes, and even though I had pre-ordered the album, for the physical album, I bought it digitally on my phone through iTunes because I wanted to listen to it right when it dropped. Put on some headphones and listen to it from front to back. And I like the CD a lot. It's harkens back to kind of an old school kind of ICP vibe, I feel. One way to judge ICP albums is like if it was scary, you know. A lot of their music's upbeat these days. And actually the message of Fearless Fred Fury is an upbeat, positive one, to live life, you know, full throttle and fight back and don't like submit to fucking failure and all that type of jazz. So well, let's just first start with the first thing, the intro. The intro was good. It was got really good sound effects, and like I like how much it's like involving like the dead, you know. ICP, the first 6 Joker's cards was a lot of, you know, you think of ICP tunes of like the clowns killing and murdering and killing like the wicked souls and sending them to Hell's Pit and all this, and this is very much in that vein for sure. And like yeah, the narrator to the intro, it's just a really good intro, I feel like. Let's check out some of the comments though in the chat. Yeah, I'm gonna cop those pops for sure. Those toys look dope. Show us the book open to show all of Fred. Oh yeah. So yeah, the booklet opens fully like that, and then you got Fearless Fred's face right there. I first saw Fearless Fred revealed at the at the Hallowicked where they revealed it. I went to that show, drove up to Detroit, and when I first was looking at the image, it looked like it said 666 for sure, but then all the Juggalos caught on, at least half of everybody else who actually saw it said 665, and then they're like, no, not 666, 665. Another interesting thing about the album is like the 665 reference is not explained on the album in the way that, like, through an interview that I guess it was through Fago Lovers maybe, Violent J confirmed that it is the 3rd deck of Joker's cards. But if you were just listening to this album to decipher what 665's meaning is, it's not on the album. It's not on Flip the Rat. So Anyway, um, yeah, I like the intro. The intro was good. And then, all right, so the second song, Red Fred. Um, I'm gonna say that the Shaggy part on it at the end is fucking classic Shaggy, like kind of being the hype man and explaining. The whole song is just explaining what Red Fred does, you know, which is punch you in the fucking face after you're dead and you lived your life like a shithead who didn't do anything, didn't fight back. Um, it's basically a track. It sounds like Violent J was just having fun with it to explain the album, and I can't really fault him for that. It's not my favorite song on the album, but let's move along. The third track, Fury, which everybody had seen. So this album basically had 2 singles released off of it before it was fully released, and the music video for Fury, like Give Me a Break, like using the Tom Wood art in the music video, was to me the coolest thing. And yeah, and then basically the song that stuck in between the 2 singles, because the other single being What the Fuck coming up on the 5th track, West Verner Avenue. That was a fun, cool song, catchy like beat, and Jay's voice on like We're Gonna Ride Down to West Verner Avenue. You know, it's fucking this. You know, most of the whole album has got really good songs on it, and then What the Fuck is coming up, and I liked that song when it first was new and I checked it out, and I'm listening to the lyrics of it, and I liked the milk. The government tells you milk is good for the bones line, and the opening line of like the aliens. We're gonna build a wall to keep the aliens out. It was like ICP kind of expressing some sort of commentary on what's going on in the real world of the government and everything. And I don't know, the song's pretty solid, and I've seen where people compare it to like off of the Amazing Juggalos brothers, like it being like terrible, and I could definitely see that. Obviously, they're both the songs in the same vein. And before moving on to the 6th song, Satellite, I just want to say also that like the whole album, my thoughts in general is like they've done I think a good job yet again of like it's all the songs are unique in a way to where they made something that you haven't heard before, like jumping ahead to Shimmer or something like that. You've heard before songs like In My Room or Take It Out on Me on the House of Wax album, but so you've like, but that concept, or they take these concept songs and do them in a different way than you've heard it done, and that's, I would think, would be hard to do, having done 30 years of music, and to have it all not sound exactly the same. So I'd say good props and points just for that alone. Alright, so the 6th song on the album, Satellite, was one of the songs that they had tweeted the name of, and even I feel like I want to say like when they finally had released the track list for the album, you had, you know, read through the titles and tried to maybe for yourself imagine what each song would be about or sound like, but I think it was they did it in a way to where, you know, nothing could prepare you to have envision like what it actually ended up being was probably like nothing like you would have expected. So pretty decent, I think. The CD version sounds way better than the Digi version. Yeah, I can't wait to pop this into my vehicle and bump it in my car. I've been listening to it on my phone. So Satellite, positive song. Um, the intro, Red Fred, Fury, West Verner Avenue, and what the fuck all up to that point had been about killing and like stuff like, yeah, like murder and dark, wicked shit songs. And then on Satellite, it takes a break to drive the message of Fearless Fred, which is when people say that their life sucks and like they're not doing anything to change it, you know, that's the whole thing, right? Seriously hilarious. Oh, going back real quick before jumping to seriously hilarious, I just want to say I like all the interludes between the songs that tie into each song, the sound effects and the sound effects of Satellite going into seriously hilarious are really really good, and just hearing like 665 like distorted like and yelled throughout the album is great. Seriously hilarious, the fucking basically, you know, it's the twisted diss, let's just say. I like that song. They did a clever job of not calling anybody out specifically, but they obviously are venting in this song with a real kind of like anger that you haven't really heard in a while from them. That seems like genuine anger, and I think of all the things to be mad about, that, you know, people that didn't come to support the march and things of towards that endeavor, I get the anger, I guess. So, but yeah, they did a good job of not naming anybody specific, so they kind of almost avoided any controversy of, oh, they specifically called out Twist, and like, no, they didn't call out anybody specific. It's you know, masked through the jokes of they're just joking, right? They're not naming anybody specific. It's a good song. Going on to the next one, Game Over. When I first heard the album, was listening through, I thought Game Over, you know, here we are with like a goofy song, and I've grown to like it more. The whole like start a fucking game and like the whole that bit, I was like not thinking it was one of the best songs, but online I'd seen where a lot of people were saying that they liked Game Over a lot as one of their favorites. I love the skit that is leading into the Night of Red Rum, where they're basically in Hal's Pit and he's recounting the story of why the one night that led him to go into hell. And I think the voice acting that Violent J did on that skit was really good, and is again like classic ICP skit, you know, on the album leading into the next song. And like somebody said online that it was a great addition to the Night of series, like Night of the Axe, Night of the Chainsaw, now Night of Red Rum. And I think it's I will say this, it seems like a lot of women got murdered on the album. If you take the way he raps about the like each of the Joker's cards seem to have specific victims. Like with Carnival of Carnage, it was a lot of rednecks, and on Riddlebox again, you know, like rednecks, and you know, throughout all the albums, it's it's bigots or pedophiles or stuff like that. But on Fearless Fred Fury, for whatever reason, it seems like most of the victims are women. Because on Night of Red Rum, and then you got Triplex jumping ahead. The first killer in the song specifically targets women indiscriminately. In the song Shimmer, it might be unintentional and not, but like in the beginning of the song, if that's Violent JJ singing the beginning part or speaking the beginning part, he said something terrible appears to him every night in the mirror, and he's like, it's a woman. And then, of course, I Like It Rough, which we'll dive into at the end here, is attacking a woman yet again. So I find it interesting that all of the victims on the Fearless Fred Fury album seem to be women for the most part. So it's like, what are they fighting back against? The Me Too movement? Anyway, yeah, Game Over is great. Night of Red Rum was great. The die, 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 die part, that way he did his voice and the effects of singing through that whole section was really good. Again, going back to, like, it seems like they keep finding somewhat inventive new ways to do this with their voice or sound like this or talk like this or whatever it is. I think they did a good job here with this. Low, I liked. It's obviously like Eminem's Marshall Mathers LP2 album did a cover of I'm fucking an idiot when it comes to the knowledge that I'm supposed to be having of whatever cover of like that old classic rock song. I'm a snake, see me slither down into my hole, conversate with the devil, I stole and sold my soul back. Somebody said, Mary Jane Monarch, you say the Me Too movement isn't for females, it's for all victims of sexual harassment, and you are correct. Terry Crews actually had his balls gripped by one of his guys, or bosses, so yeah, you're right, the Me Too movement isn't just women, I guess, so thanks for the knowledge of that, and the reminder. So anyway, yeah, Low was good, I liked it. It was like Eminem kind of already did a cover of that song on his album like 4 years ago, the Marshall Mathers LP2, and I liked Eminem's one. I liked this one, ICP. It's like ICP version. I played that one for my wife, and she said it was just a ripoff of Eminem's thing, and I don't really see it exactly like that. That album's 4 years old, and you know, any artist can do their own version if they would feel like, I would say. I like Low, and I like the low down part, and like all this, and Shaggy's part. Triplex, this song's also very good. Good song where they're like, it's a song about murder and all this. 3 murderer personalities, and the part where it was talking about murdering Khloe Kardashian, the snap pics of the dead bitch in Cashaman was a good line, and kind of remind me of Shooting Stars off the Mighty Death Pop, just in the sense of referencing like celebrities and killing them, like big time celebrities. Nobody's Fault. That one might be my favorite song on the album, or Freedom. Nobody's Fault, I think, is a positive song in the way that, I mean, it's kind of sad, I guess, sort of, actually. Maybe by killing mostly females, they imply they require a higher standard of female. Otherwise, they are immoral or unethical or even evil and worthy of deletion. You gonna pick on a scale of 1 to 10 like you do on Juggalos Review Foods? Yeah, I'll give the album a rating towards the end here. Nobody's Fault, I found really, like, open of Violent J to write this song, especially the line where he's talking about his failed marriage, I guess, with Sugar Slam, and putting that on this Joker's Card album like this song, and purposefully with intent to include it and get the message out of, and all the message of the song in general, of it's nobody's fault but your own if, like, you're sad and down and out, or your fucking wife left you, or people don't believe you because you're a liar, and you all this shit that would be going wrong, like people saying, like, why did this happen? Well, you know, it's like you're nobody's fault but yours. Check out some comments here again. Nobody's Fault, Wes Werner, and Red Fred are my favorites. Also seriously hilarious. These are all sorts of females who pull the girl card, but deep down they are awful, hurtful beings fronting as innocent. I like the line where he was like, from this day forth I'll be a faithful man. It was a great sounding plan, but it was built on quicksand. And on the Lost albums, the song where it was, I think it was the song How Can I Live a Beautiful Life with all this darkness that covers my life. And there's a part where he's talking about his wife there, and he was, I'm trying to recall it like on the spot, but something like, how can I stay faithful and quit the game when I know my wife ain't doing the same, or whatever. I feel like on each Joker's card, Violent J is like kind of giving a little bit more and more of a, because it's all, the whole album is like surrounded by all the entertainment and the killing, but you hear those little like small messages in some certain songs. I find the ones where he's like kind of giving insight into his relationship with his wife, or now ex-wife, and kind of like a very human look at, like, you know, what's otherwise full of like all clown, like death and murder entertainment stuff. There's like these are genuine glimpses into like his life and what his message is about, what he thinks about how everything is, I guess. And nobody, he talks about Twisted and Nobody's Fault too. I haven't really noticed that, actually, so that's fucking awesome. And that's also a reason why I like doing, when I get around to doing these live videos, being able to see in real time everybody's awesome comments and like fucking sick commentary, in addition to what I'm telling you my take on it is, just as much hearing what you guys have to think. So so he talks about Twisted and Nobody's Fault too. I'll have to re-listen to it and then hear what you're talking about. Anyway, let's move along here to Hothead. I saw DC Fago Guy had a review of the album, and he says he skips this one, and I would have to somewhat agree, or pretty much exactly agree with him, actually. When I'm listening to the whole album all the way through, I find myself skipping Hothead. It's a song with the way he raps kind of sounds like another attempt to make a song that stands out as like, this sounds different than anything else on the album. But I kind of like the part where it's like the 1, 2, 3, 4, almost like the Nightmare on Elm Street rhyme, where it's like 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you, but they make it like Shaggy talking about ICP stuff, and it goes all the way up to 17. Press F to pay respect to Ross TV for showing up and surprising us with an awesome Juggalos review show and that fresh ass Flip the Rat jersey he won at Gathering of the Juggalos 2018 for first place costume contest. And I have to fucking, yeah, thanks for noticing this, and I will confirm that what he's saying is totally fucking, yeah, I won first fucking place at the goddamn 2018 Gathering of the Juggalos costume contest. I got a gold plaque framed. Like, I'm very, very, very proud of that, Mr. Happy. Oh, I needed to go back and mention that on Night of Red Rum, also gotta love that song because of the Mr. Happy reference. Because I was Mr. Happy was my costume for winning the costume contest first place. And then we get Mr. Happy reference on this album. So that was fresh. And then also in that same line, it was, I'm Mr. Happy, I'm psychotic and crazy, something, something, daisies. And I think that was a Mighty Death Pop reference also. Because there was a song Daisies on Mighty Death Pop where you die, and he sees like a sliver of light, and he's running towards it, and he sees he sees a daisy, and he's dead. Valanche's character's dead in the song Daisies, and he's like running towards whatever is left in his nothingness existence. So when you die, daisies, right? So Mr. Happy reference plus the Mighty Death Pop reference. Cool. Alright, so jumping ahead again to Shimmer. Shimmer, yeah, I loved the song Shimmer. It was really good, and I've heard people make comments saying it's another edition of like a Ghost Girl type of song, because you've got Truly Alone. Not Truly Alone. In My Room, I mean to say. Night of Red Rum is actually like Truly Alone, because it's about murdering people, and then police. He's murdered so many people and caused such a crazy fucking killing spree that the police have to come and like gun him down, which is what happens at Night of Red Rum at the end. But yeah, Shimmer. It's like you got Take It Out on Me from the House of Wax album, and Verily. Verily, I think, actually is like one of the few ICP songs that has no swear words or anything inappropriate on it. It's a completely clean song. Verily is, so I think I'm right about that. So that's a little bit of knowledge off the Bing Pal Boom album. But then you got Shimmer, and it's kind of like an updated Verily, a little bit cooler. Verily's not a bad song, but Shimmer, I think, is a scarier, darker song, and it's a little bit more graphic, so more adult version of Verily, because while there's not much swearing, I don't believe, on the song Shimmer, like gratuitously, it does paint the picture of the kid's parents, like the mom was nothing for the dad. The mom was nothing, just something for the dad to stuff his semen in, and other lines like that, I think, were used that were, obviously making the song very vulgar, which is fine. Obviously, I don't give a fuck. I'm just telling you the difference between Shimmer and Verily. And the whole end of that song Shimmer, where he's holding the Bible and it's not bloody anymore, and all the pages were clear, and the whole um, it sounds really crazy and weird. And like I said earlier in the start of the review, like I tried to judge the album based on, like, how scary is this. It was a little bit scary. Fearless Fred album, Fury album. I put my headphones on, was on the couch and just listened to it, and like the vibe of the album was scary. It didn't actually scare me. I will say that I was literally scared when I was like a kid listening to the song "The Dead One." I had my headphones on and my like jog-proof like CD player Walkman thing at the time, and the part where the song goes off and then Shaggy comes back on. He's like, "You dead, bitch!" Like I like kind of got scared, and I thought that was fucking fresh, really cool as a kid when I listened to that. This song didn't fucking like scare me necessarily like that, but it was fucking entertaining and dark throughout it. And then you come to Freedom, the 15th track. My wife, honestly, one of these questions is, does my wife like ICP? And the answer is no. She's supportive and always gets me packed up for the gathering every year, and prepares me for that trip. But she likes some ICP music, like she likes the Mighty Death Pop, okay. But I've showed her some of the songs on this album. She doesn't like it at all. She thought that Low was a ripoff of Eminem's cover that he did. And she has, to be fair, she hasn't given this album a chance yet. Like, I don't want to force anything on her that she doesn't want to hear, but if we're ever in the car going on a trip, I might play it and let her listen to the album. But this album is for like Insane Clown Posse fans. If you're not a fan of this album, then I think Mighty Death Pop and things like that was made to kind of like see if they could create music that was still Juggalo music, and there's Killing on Mighty Death Pop, and it's just more upbeat. And a lot of the cards, as you all are already aware, are pretty upbeat albums, but this kind of throws it back to, I think they did a good job of like this is what they sound like new and now, but and it's like the best version of what they can put out now, and it's mostly dark, but it's got like the message is clear to live a positive way. So yeah, Freedom is my favorite track because it reminds me of other songs that they did in recent times, of just being positive, saying like you can do whatever you like. You take the song Miracles, and like they're saying like everything is a miracle, but on Freedom, to me, seems like the most blatant, like speaking, like all the songs on the album are like have an entertainment value, and like they're like talking to the world, but Freedom seems like they're talking to Juggalos. Like sometimes they have songs that are a little bit softer where they bring it back down from being brutal and violent, and they're speaking directly to Juggalos, and they're saying, hey, Juggalos, you got freedom, you're like living in like a body thing, don't be all depressed and bummed about your job that sucks. Like if you really hate it so bad, then you can get a new job and change shit up in your life and make it like you have to make the decision to get out of the rut. You know what I mean? And that can be hard to do, but that's the whole point, is saying to fight back. Freedom, you got the freedom to do any fucking thing you want. Be a fucking teacher, you could be a doctor, you can be a homeless guy, you can spend your whole day jerking off, whatever it is that you are, wanting to do, just fucking start moving towards that. You know what I'm saying? Don't be depressed lying on the couch or bed, fucking feeling depressed and just wanting to stay feeling depressed. You can feel depressed and that can happen, but you have to fight back and you have to do it, because who's gonna fucking pull you up and make you do what you should be doing? Nobody but you, because it's nobody's fault but yours, and you have to do it. So who doesn't love that message? The message is great. Alright, so then you got the track Beware. It's like the intro guy's voice, and setting it up for the song, the last song, I Like It Rough. Yeah, it's a cool sounding track, and it explains how they want you to feel about the next song, which is probably important because the next song is quite a fucking track to close it out with. So only a disappointment in the sense of, like, you got 17 tracks on the album, but the 16th one, Beware, is not exactly a music track. It's just like a setup to the next song, so it's almost like you lost it. But there's plenty of freshness on the album, so it's not really a problem. So yeah, I Like It Rough, the last fucking song. So obviously they were aiming towards disturbing and all this, and like they fucking, you can't deny that. I think they delivered. Is it like a fucking song that I like to jam to? No, not exactly. I'll listen to it for sure. But in hearing the whole album, going on the journey, the first like run through, and then hearing that song, it's like cringy and like disturbing, and you're like, oh my god, you know, like. But that's great, because obviously that's why I think Violent J was like, if that was his decision specifically to like, we're closing it out with this, I want this as the ender, because they're like, because it's horrorcore that they're like fucking the kingpins of, correct? So they're saying that can we still put out music after 30 years that is still, you know, takes our most avid listeners, and can we still shock them? And I think they, you know, kind of fucking went there. Doesn't make it appealing. Some of the lines in the song, open the butt of that kitten, and like things like that, and the whole middle part where it's like choke you with your panties, choke me with your panties part is like cringy and like old school Dark Carnival car thumping bass wrapped in new school production. No comedy, no real sketches, hardly says Juggalo. But she knew I liked them way back when we first. But yeah, you know, he's fucking a runaway girl who I guess is underage, and then part of it towards the end seems like he's trying to make the song not so like completely unpleasant to hear. By she's like, okay, runaway, you can like take the thumbtacks and put them in my balls, and you can like then. So he's talking about ripping her in half and comparing the two sides of her skinned body, and like eating her and shitting her out again, and like it's all being disgusting and vile in the beginning, and then it kind of turns it around to where he's allowing the runaway girl to like hurt him, and since he's like the abuser, to hear the abuser being like having somewhat of a comeuppance, not exactly. It seems to me like he was trying to like balance out the levels of like how like off-putting is this, but it's off-putting for sure. The beat itself sounds like not a bad song, and like if you were not paying close attention to the lyrics, it's not like a horrible sounding song. But if they were trying to achieve a disgusting, vile song to close out with, then I guess I Like It Rough surely delivered on that. And then, of course, so I go through the whole album and I'm done listening to it and I hear that last song and it's like, ugh. And then like it's silent for a second, like a pause, and then you just hear the brother sound effect, and that's the end of the album. It was fucking great, you know. The whole like I loved the journey of hearing the first run through of the CD, and I've listened to it a lot since then. I give the album on a scale of 1 to 10 probably a 9, which I think is I'm confident in that scoring. It's a solid album. Things like the Riddle Box or the Great Malenko, to give like a contrast comparison, I'd probably rate those albums like a 10 maybe. Like especially the Great Malenko. I first got down with the Riddle Box and I heard that album, and loved it front to back, and then later heard the Great Malenko. But something about, you know, the Great Malenko, a very like like that was their fucking like big fucking break, right? The way the Great Malenko album just sounds from the start to the end just sound like, I don't know if they even realized how much of a fucking like classical masterpiece of, as far as like Insane Clown Posse music goes, everything, every sound and every thing that went onto the album and tracks of the Great Malenko, just, it sounds like it just came out like somehow like just perfectly. And like I'd call it like a 10 out of 10 masterpiece as far as ICP music goes, if I'm giving my total opinion about everything. And then this album's fucking solid, 9 out of 10 for sure. And it's exciting to have like an album. It wasn't released at a gathering. I guess it was released at Juggalo Day, which is for like a select amount of fucking crew. I'm sure that was a good time. I did not get to go. But this is just out in February, and here we are, and it's out, and it's like a new big Joker's card. Plus, you got Flip the Rat, which I'll probably do a video for that later. And then just Fearless Fred Fury alone. It's a lot for Juggalos to sink their teeth into and enjoy, and that's fun right now, because like the gathering's not for a few months out, and right now people have the Fearless Fred Fury album to jam to and be excited about and enjoy, and it's just more music, which is great. Like a show is like a one-shot, like fun-ass experience, but the music you can take with you, and it's just there forever. You know, it's released, it's on YouTube, it's on my phone now, it's gonna be in my car, and it's great. You know, I love it. You know, who doesn't like music? And each song can take you. Songs just, it's 3 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes to just kind of like take you into a mental mindset out of like the fucking, it can help you get inspired to fight back. If you're feeling down, put this on, and then you might want to fight back, you know what I mean? So 4 years to make it, yeah. A 9 from Tales from the Lotus Pod. I would say a high 8 or low 9. I've listened to some of Flip the Rat on YouTube. Obviously, I'm going to try and get my physical copy. And I liked, well, that'll be a whole other separate review, so we'll jump into that another time. But thank you guys for fucking tuning in and watching and commenting with me. I enjoyed the journey, for sure, of this album, and I guess we're at the end of this review too, so thanks again for tuning in. Check out Flip the Rat live video will be coming out in the near future on Ross TV. If you haven't subscribed before it's the first time, please do so now. And there's going to be some more content coming to Ross TV very soon. I'm glad I was able to jump on and do this video for you guys. I feel bad that, you know, I've been very busy, and I'm going to have a video coming out really soon that's going to fucking detail, and I'm going to just put out videos, whether they're live. I'm going to have my talk show set up, put up into an attic that I've been working on for months, and that's part of the reason why I've been so busy. But I'm going to have a video explaining all that kind of bullshit. If you're interested in that and like other aspects of the channel besides just ICP reviews, like I've got some massive changes coming to Toon Tuesday. If you're a fan of that series, I know I've been talking about it a lot, but it's happening. You know, I just have to have a Toon Tuesday in the can before I make my announcement, I feel like, and that's part of the delay. So before I just immediately end the video, I feel like I'm rambling a lot now, but I just enjoy doing the show with you guys when I get to do it, and I don't do it enough. So I'm just kind of like living in the moment of enjoying giving you all the information I can before I end this stream, which I'm about to do. So yeah, I mean, Toon Tuesday announcement coming up. Tomorrow I'm going to hang out with some old school friends of mine. I've called all my buddies from the show sketch comedy series that I used to film, and we're gonna hang out tomorrow. And I know that has nothing to do with any of my video making, but I'm just kind of like letting you know about it because I'm excited about that. And I'm gonna pick my friend up tomorrow after he gets off work, and then take him into town, and two of my other like close best friends, we're gonna hang out. And actually, I just heard from my other friend who's part of the group, and he's impossible to get a hold of, and he actually responded back today, I saw. So we're all gonna hang out, and that's fucking dope. Maybe I'll film some of it, but the reason why I don't film shit with those guys as much anymore is because like Lance specifically has moved on professionally in his like job path career, and I don't know how much they want their lives filmed, but I appreciate though that you guys are interested in at least my life and what's going on with me. Start doing some vlogging for your channel more often. Yeah, I need to vlog. If I had I'm going to make a vlog explaining this reason that I've been like fucking off on Toon Tuesday. Like I said, I've mentioned it, like peppered it into some of the videos and mentioned it as information but in the past, but yeah, an attic. It's a crazy story, which I'll have to flesh out and explain in a vlog sometime, but I'll show you the attic and the footage. I'd like fucking put down a flooring. I'm not like a carpentry kind of fucking guy, but I fucking, with my brother-in-law, built railings and put like a new flooring in this like attic that we have upstairs. It's fucking, you'll see it. Anyway, I feel like I've rambled on for too much. I hope that you've enjoyed it at least. 9 out of 10 album. And what more can you say besides whoop fucking whoop? Thanks for fucking watching another Juggalos review inspired type of deal. We'll have some Juggalos review foods coming out soon. I'm gonna jump on Studio 17. If you don't know about that channel on YouTube and you're watching this still, and I've got your attention, Studio 17, check it out, subscribe to it. I think it's March 9th. It's a Saturday. My intentions are to kind of do a takeover of that channel, and I'm going to be running a show called No Seconds. It's about serial killer's last meal on death row, and I eat the same meal. This is not a show that I am the original creator of. Not Slim One, and his crew, and his co-host, the Iceman, and Mima, they run a show called No Seconds, and I'm just being like a guest host to that, I suppose. And at least that's the idea. So, my intentions are to definitely do that show. I have done all of the shows that I've been asked to do thus far, and it's only if 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 we were going to a concert that we've bought tickets for or something, obviously, and have like plans that are going to interfere, like a time conflict, then that would be the only reason why I would not do the show on March 9th. But as far as I know, I don't have anything going on, so I should be able to do a live show on Studio 17. So check that out, and they do other content, so just check out Studio 17 in general. And I will see you motherfuckers either right here on this channel or Studio 17 or somewhere in the near future on this fucking platform here. So with that being said, I'm done. Let's check the comments one last time before fucking... Alright, thanks guys again for watching. Thanks 1,000 times thank you. And that's it.